weather outside's pretty horrible today, so I decided to do some indoor flying. I went down to Arizona, Missouri and Arizona for work, but I took my wing with me because I was hoping I could play, or I could fly in Arizona, or at least do some kiting. So I was in Missouri, I was staying at this hotel. It's kind of a funny story. Staying at a hotel, and there's a big field next to the hotel. The wind was going just right. So, and it's, a big vacant mowed field. It's kind of, it's right next to the hotel. It kind of appears at least to be part of the hotel. And so I went ahead and pulled my wing out to kite, and I got some nice kiting. It was like a nice little hill. Behind that hill was the power lines, and the interstate was on the other side of the hill. Apparently somebody thought that looked dangerous, so they called the police on me. And so a policeman shows up, and he's just angry, like pissed off at me. Doesn't understand what I'm doing. I think he thinks that I'm trying to fly somewhere, but again, this is just a field. There's, I don't think he understands how it works. So he's pissed off, asking me where I'm trying to go, and asking if I have a permit, which obviously I don't need. So I'm calm and collected the whole time while he's being just a jerk, and kind of insults me a few times, anyway, I stay calm and collected. I de-escalate the situation because I have a little bit of law enforcement experience, albeit hardly any, but apparently I have more training than this guy does, because I had to de-escalate the situation. Anyway, he asked for my ID. I said, I'll give you my ID. I gotta put my, take my wing off, make it safe. He starts getting pissed. I'm not pulling my ID out immediately. It's in the back of my harness. It's in the back here. And anyway, I finally get my ID out. I fumble with my ID and kind of do the old flash my military ID thing, which immediately de-escalates the whole situation. And maybe the guy realized he was being a jerk, and anyway, he kind of, I wouldn't say he apologized, but he's like, oh, it's we're busy, we got a lot going on, and blah blah blah, which I understand. I give some props to the cops, but if they're gonna show up to a scene being a jerk, they're not making their lives any easier, so that's my story. Put my wing away. I had a nice kiting session. I did a little more kiting down on my parents' farm down there in Missouri on the weekend. Then went to Arizona. Didn't get my wing out. I went out to Mustang Mountain. The wind wasn't right, so I didn't fly. There was nobody else out there, and I hadn't gotten a hold of the contact out there. He later did contact me about a week later, apologizing. So got to talk to him a little bit, and next time I head down to Arizona, I'll definitely fly that Mustang Mountain. It looks like a fun place to fly if the conditions are right. Anyway, that's my story.